So we've got our first semi-finalist for Super Rugby 2018. It's the Hurricanes. They've beaten the Chiefs 32 points to 31 in Wellington. There were tries to Julian Savia, 2 to Perinara, 1 to Lamb for the Hurricanes. For the Chiefs, it was Weber, Leonard Brown, D-Mac and Bashir all getting tries. The scoreline, 32-31, only 1 point in it, perhaps is a bit false in that it makes it look like there was kind of some grandstanding finish with it all to play for. Not really. The Hurricanes had this game wrapped up. I mean, it was 32 points to 17 with about 10 minutes to go, and there wasn't much chance, or virtually none, of the Chiefs getting a result. They did get 2 last tries to make the scoreline look, very tight, but to be fair, it was just more consolation at the end. That second one to Bashir was in about the 82nd minute, so it was just something to put the scoreline a bit closer. Still, the game was close for a long time. I mean, it started early with an early try to Julian Savia from an intercept from Damien McKenzie. Ran pretty far, although was definitely lacking a bit of gas at the end. The bus was being caught up by a few guys, but still managed to get over the line. Got a second intercept not long after, but that time was caught. So Hurricanes putting a lot of early pressure on. Went out to a 7-0 lead, but it wasn't long after when Weber got his try to tie it up. So that was kind of the story of the game. The Hurricanes would pull in front, the Chiefs would catch them up. There was never a time when the Chiefs led. It was 7 all, then 10 all, 17 all, and then it was pretty much the Canes who pulled out to get a bit of a lead. In terms of controversy, there wasn't too much in this game. There was only 1 card right at the end to Fafita, so thankfully nothing in the way of red cards to talk about, nothing like that. There was Perinara's first try. He himself didn't look convinced, and I would say if you're a Hurricanes fan, you're definitely convinced it was a try. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're probably sure it was absolutely not a try, that he lost the ball forward. I'm a neutral, and it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Really, there wasn't compelling evidence. I forget which way the ref called it, because the TMO ended up saying there's no compelling evidence that there's a knock-on. So I'm assuming the ref did say, I'll call it a try unless you can tell me otherwise. Because if it was the other way, if Glenn said that there's no try unless you can tell me otherwise, then maybe they're robbed. But it's probably one of those ones where you just got to go with the on-field decision, because the video evidence, at least to me as a neutral, wasn't compelling kind of one way or the other. TJ himself seemed pretty surprised that the try was awarded. Chiefs weren't shooting for goal in this game. They only kicked 1 penalty. For the most part, they were going for tries, but not able to convert for the most part, especially early on in that first half when they had the wind. And that wind was really pretty strong. I mean, I should say, in terms of attendance, it looked to be a pretty good crowd. There were some sections of the stadium that looked pretty sparse, but a lot of sections looked pretty full, so that's encouraging. It was pretty windy. One of those tries for the Chiefs was basically the ball just holding up in the wind. Milner Scudder not coming forward to get it, because it just stopped coming. It just stopped dead in the air and just fell down. So he wasn't able to get a good read on it, despite it being his home ground. Hurricanes were good at the breakdown though, and Chiefs had a few key moments, just lacking a bit of kind of cutting edge. Like Stevenson had a good break down the wing, and Anton Leonard-Brown was running a supporting line, but they just somehow didn't communicate, and Stevenson just ended up throwing it out directly. So that's the kind of moment that the Chiefs needed to take. D-Mac, I said he threw an intercept pass to Savia early. He missed the tackle on Ben Lamb, which you can kind of forgive him for. That was a one-on-one that was pretty hard. But I mean, you've just got to get those in finals footy. And he kicked the ball from kickoff, didn't go 10 meters, although that was when they were really chasing the game. So I guess you can kind of forgive him for trying something. But yeah, just those little 50-50s, including that Perinara try, didn't seem to go the Chiefs' way this week. Some of the things they just couldn't get quite right. Some of their lineouts didn't go the way they planned, and the Canes were able to make good use of that scrum, setting up a couple of their tries. So yeah, a bit of biffo at the end. I guess a few guys with some feelings, knowing it was the end of their season, and for some of them their Chiefs careers. So I guess that explains a bit of fiery tempers. But for the most part, I thought it was a pretty good game. The Hurricanes will suddenly, the Hurricanes and Hurricanes fans will suddenly be very big Sharks fans. They will be hoping that the Sharks, if they don't beat the Crusaders, that they can at least kind of rough them up in this game tomorrow, to try and give the Hurricanes as best chance as they can next week. But whoever plays next week, that should be a cracker of a match. But yeah, by the end of the match, the stats were pretty even. The Chiefs really dominated the first half stats-wise, if not on the scoreboard. And the Hurricanes just pushed that out at the end. They kind of dominated. I guess the wind, each team playing with the wind did better statistically. So I should say, though, that tackle-wise, the Hurricanes only tackled this game at 72%, which is not good if you're looking at potentially playing the Crusaders next week. But anyway, they got the result for this week, so kudos to them. Celebrations. Commiserations to the Chiefs. It was a pretty good season, especially missing so many big guns for so many weeks. But yeah, things under Colin Cooper are definitely looking to be in good hands. You guys let me know your thoughts on the game, and I'll talk to you again for the Saturday games tomorrow. All right, see you later.